Well, I'm Vanessa. I used to be an academic researcher here. And 2 years ago, I moved to the industry and I became a medical science liaison with MSD, which is also known as Merck in the US. For those of you who don't know me, I'm from a little island in the Caribbean. I'm French. I'm sure you've picked up the accent by now. And I've moved from a little island good by sea to another island good by sea via France. I did my PhD in Paris at the Institut Curie, and then I moved to Australia. Yes, I did a little bit of travel. I joined the lab of Nick Haywood at QIMR, and I was doing any kind of genomics, RNA, DNA, methylation, you name it, on melanoma. Then I moved to here, to this beautiful building, where I joined the team of Pam Pollock, and I was developing different types of mice models in her endometrial cancer projects. During that position, I started to collaborate with lots of different types of gynae oncologists, pathologists, medical oncologists at the Mater mainly, but across Australia. And I joined the Australia-New Zealand gynae oncology group. Then I moved to Andrew Barber's lab here at QQ, and I had several projects focusing on biomarkers in esophageal adenocarcinoma, melanoma, and pancreatic cancer. And I was also involved in the biobanking activities of the lab. During this position, I was mainly collaborating with different types of surgeons and medoncs, and I also joined the Australian gastrointestinal trial groups. So if I just stop here, I've just summarized the 8 pages of my CV in just one slide. I've removed all the papers, the grants, and everything that everyone is focusing on right now. And I only emphasized the points where I started collaborating with the clinicians, and that's what was important on my CV when I applied for my current position. So I got asked 3 questions. Why did I move to industry? Well, I'm sure most of you have seen that paper that came out in Nature last year in October. Turns out I was part of the stats. I was right in the right age. And I was sitting on a pile of data that I couldn't analyze or publish because I was focusing on writing grants. I think you mentioned that, going back to why I started cancer research. Yes, I wanted to have a direct impact on the patient, and I felt like I was losing myself. I was also looking for clearer career path. And also, that's not a little detail, my kids were older, so I could do it. In academia, yes, we are focusing on research, our own projects. We are teaching, we are publishing. In industry, it's more about, well, in my MSL position, it's more about building relationship, scientific communication, supporting the clinical trial development. In academia, it's all about contributing to this big pool of knowledge, when in industry, again, in my MSL position with the medical affairs, we are more centered about the patients. In every meeting room in the company that I am in, there is a red chair, which is representing the patient, reminding everyone why we are doing what we're doing on an everyday basis. They do overlap, so there is the cross-functional collaborations, the communications, and the analysis. So for those of you who don't know what a medical science liaison role is, I try to summarize the whole thing. If I start by the top, healthcare professional interaction, I do interact directly with clinicians, with researchers mainly when they want to have access to some data or grants. I spend my time getting into all the deep outputs from any kind of conferences, like 2 weeks ago was ESMO Breast. I'm still digesting all this data, and this weekend is ASCO, which means that I will have to focus on all those outputs because that's the material that I am discussing with most of the people that I exchange with. I organize lots of workshops and seminars within those conferences, but I also organize standalone medical events all along the year. I get involved with my colleagues from the clinical trials department within my company which means that I get to explain most of the science behind the new clinical trials that they are opening. And so across all this type of interaction with the clinicians, I bring back insights that I share with my colleagues from the Regulatory Affairs Department and the Market Access, because those insights are going to have an impact on the study registration to the TGA or even for the PBS listing. I also get involved to train my colleagues from marketing and sales when those studies get registered. And of course, everything has to be compliant in terms of local and international laws and ethics. There was the question about the differences between the academia and the industry. So I think most of these points have been developed. In academia, it's more hierarchical, and it's all about the individual achievements, when in industry, it's more about the teamwork and the collaboration. It's a very fast work pace. Like I said, I have to be on top of any kind of new data coming out of conferences, or we could be asked to develop some or to push for some registration, like now, which is what we're doing right now. But I did find that any kind of little achievement were a lot more recognized, and also there was clear growth and development opportunities. I mean, every month I get a direct meeting with my supervisor to talk about my own development. That can be vertical within the medical affairs team, but it can also be horizontal in the different type of teams, which is why they're pushing for us to collaborate, to discuss, to have placement with the other department. Third one was my advice. What's my advice for the people who want to do the change like I did? Well, I think most of these points, again, have been emphasized again, already today. I think it's important to develop your own network, to know the company that you want to approach, create the connection. This is mainly done, I believe, through conferences, and learn about the new trends. I mean, we are in 2025. Things are going very fast, so you need to keep up to date. LinkedIn has been mentioned. Important to increase your visibility and to connect with potential employers. In terms of the skills that you will need, I believe in change. I would say don't be afraid of the change and be adaptable. Be ready to just embrace it. Networking relationships is the key. Identify your mentors. If you don't have any, find them, trust them, follow their advice or not, you can do it. Find new mentors, I've done it. Strong communication skills. I mean, we talk about our CV from academia, but everyone has this passion, this hobby, some kind of volunteering. And I think this is what you need to push on your CV, because the whole question is what will dissociate you from the rest of the pile of CV that the recruiter is going to look at. For MSL, I've heard some people talking about MSL course that you pay for. I would say forget that. Most of the companies provide their internal MSL preparation and registration, so there's no point to pay for it. I will also, enhance your knowledge and your skill within the path that you choose to go for. So overall, I would say 3 main points. The first one is your personal motivations, which is what drives us and keeps us going. The second one would be that changing careers can be rough, tough, challenging, but it's also very exciting. Once you've made the choice to move, most of the time you'll find all the help that you need on the way. Networking for me is key, because that is what opens new opportunities, and also that's where you will find the help that you will need on the way. Overall, I will say that it's all about choosing a path that makes you happy and also that will help you grow. Thank you.